Couple things from the chamber. We have a new member, Every Kind of Beautiful, in downtown Lake Zurich. We're going to do a ribbon cutting on Friday, April 2nd at 11 a.m. She is offering 50% off to anybody who comes in. You just have to call them to glam yourself up for the weekend. So, you know, they do makeup, hair, stuff like that. So feel free to indulge in like that. We have Splurge Retail Week coming up. So you can check out the website along with so many other events as like our golf outing, June 28th, Everything Expo, July 10th, Taste of Towns, August 15th. So we're gonna have a big summer of fun. Check it out on the website. And then lastly, we're still doing our member spotlight marketing. So every month, you can go on and see, become one of our member spotlights, $50 for advertising. And we do email, social media, and then on our website. So it's a great deal this month, and coming up in April is Go Green. And other than that, I'll leave it up to Alyssa to take us with our session.
All right, everybody. I am going to share my screen. All right, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. So today we're talking about videos. I know as businesses of one, it's hard to, you wear so many hats. And so it's hard to, you're responsible for IT, you're responsible for sales, you're responsible for, in addition to what you do in your day-to-day, you're also responsible for the marketing, right? And one great way to do that is with videos. And maybe you already know the value that video brings. If not, I'm going to share a little bit about why video is important in your plan, but maybe you've been thinking about including video for a while, but you're like, I just don't know where to start. I don't know how to film myself. I'm not comfortable. I don't know how to edit videos. Where do I post them once they're done? Those are some things I'm just going to go over today at a really high level, easy things that you guys can go out and use right away. There's obviously a lot of technical things involved in when you get down to editing videos and posting on platforms, but I'm going to show you just a few things that you can go home with today that'll be really easy for you to start using. So first, what I'm going to talk about is, why is video important? There's been a lot of studies on the value of video, but here are a few things that I pulled out that just show how important it really is in your marketing plan. 84% of people say watching a brand's video convinced them to buy a product or service. 93% of brands actually got a new customer because of a video they saw on social media. If you have video on your website, you're 53 times more likely to reach the front page of Google, because video on your website actually helps with SEO and things like that. And then if you include it, maybe you have an email list and you're sending out emails to your group, you see a 19% increase in open rates if the subject line includes the word video. And in fact, if you include video in those emails, you see a 26% increase in click-through rates too. So it's a really great place. Video is obviously a great boost for your brand. And especially in these days when people are scrolling through websites, social media, emails, they see there's so many static images that a video really causes people to stop and take notice. So it's just a really powerful way to market your business. And so we're going to talk a little bit about, where do you include video? Well, the simplest places to include them are the three that we just talked about: on your website, on social media, and in your email marketing. So those are like the easiest to get off the ground and to post videos and share videos too. And I want to talk really quickly on aspect ratios. So aspect ratios are basically the way that you film, whether you film horizontally or vertically. 16:9 is considered the standard, and that's if you're using your phone, that's the widescreen. But actually what I'm seeing a lot these days is that the 9:16, which is vertical, is actually becoming a lot more popular. And the reason behind that is everyone's on their smartphones all day. So the way they're consuming the video is this way when they're scrolling through. So you want to keep that in mind, and you want to think about the way that you're filming. And And obviously on different platforms, YouTube, it's common to do the widescreen that shows up the best. But if you're doing like Instagram stories or a Snapchat or something like that, that's typically always vertical. So now we're going to talk about just a few quick video idea starters to get you thinking about what kind of videos could apply to my business, or what would I even take a video of? There are a lot of different types of video that you can film, but these are just a few quick ideas. Explainer videos. The goal is to attract and educate, keep them short. What these are is basically just explain your brand. You talk about yourself, what you do, you explain a little bit about your products or services. It's a great way for you to showcase your personality, especially as a business of one. You are your own brand. So it's great to get your voice out there, your personality out there, and explain a little bit about what you do. And these explainer videos are great on your website or on social media. People love behind the scenes video. They, whether it's like, for example, Kasha, there you are at your studio. If you're doing a shoot or something, you can do a quick video. Here we are behind the scenes of my photo shoot. Things like that. People just love that stuff. And you can put that on your website and your social media. Product demo videos. If you have a product, I know a lot of people do services, people do products, but you can do a quick demo to demonstrate what you do or what your customers are going to get in working with you. Testimonial videos are great on your website or on social media. If you have customers that you think would be great on video, you can just interview them quickly. Just ask them a few quick questions and have them describe what it was like working with you or something like that. It's just a different way to grab people's attention rather than just a long text block on your website or something like that. It's a lot easier to share on social if you just have someone say a few sentences about what it was like working with you. And then another one people are hosting a lot of webinars these days, but webinars is a great video tool. You can showcase your authority in a certain topic or a certain space. Those are obviously longer. You can share the recording on your website, on your YouTube channel if you have one. It's just another idea of something you can do to get yourself and video out there. So you always want to think about too, when you're creating videos, you want to think about your goals, how much time you have, the resources you have available to you, your audience, and your message. So I know Kent was saying a little bit before this call, we were just chatting, and he was like, I kind of write a script, but then I sound scripted when I'm on the video actually. But I always encourage people to do write up a script in advance just to make sure that it matches your branding. It kind of gets hard because then you tend to read the script or follow the script too closely once it comes to your video. But once you practice and keep practicing, you get to feel more natural and it feels a little bit less scripted. But I do think it's good to write some sort of script or have an idea of what you're going to say, just to make sure that you're speaking to your audience in the way that you want to.
I'm curious if any of the folks in our meeting today, has anyone used video already for their business? Has anyone got it on a website or anything?
I've used some videos, yeah.
Petra, yeah.
Nope, nothing for me.
Nothing for me.
I actually had one made by a student I hired as an intern for the Wakanda Chamber. They had a virtual expo. So if you want to, I can send it to you. Kind of interesting. I wish I would have had a different background, but it still turned out okay,
And what was the video, Petra? Was it like someone like traveling, like location?
Yeah, it was me. It was why do you
no
travel agent,
Mhm.
COVID. It was about 1.5 to 2 minutes. So covered a few different areas. I kind of tried to highlight as opposed to just rambling on. Since I didn't have a storefront, I didn't do like a tour walking through the business.
Mhm.
But it was, I think people that I got feedback from said it was informative, being thrown together kind of last minute. So, but it worked.
Yeah, good. And that's to dive a little bit deeper, I just, put some idea starters here. Like Pedro, you were saying about COVID, like if you have any COVID updates, I know some of you work from your home and maybe that doesn't make sense, but like Pedro or Rich, think travel is opening up. You could give COVID updates, tips on how to travel these days, how airports are, stuff like that. You could do a day at your office. Some people sometimes have, if you want to show your messy desk or something interesting that's in your workspace at your home, something like that, just to keep it fun, you can do a quick video like that. Online tutorials, if you host events or have upcoming deadlines. I know, John, tax day is coming up. You can hop on video and remind everyone to get their tax info into you.
Wow, I didn't know taxes was due. When?
Well, it's been delayed now.
Yeah.
Extra month for that one.
Yeah, good procrastination.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done a list of the tutorials. When I have clients that have a question, they want to know how to do something on their website, and I think other clients might have the same question. I actually do a video, but it's of my screen showing me do the change, and I'm narrating through it what I'm doing and why. And they're short little videos. They're not even a minute and a half, and then I just throw them up on my YouTube channel. And the clients love that stuff. I mean, people really like the how-to things, whatever it is. Just sharing a little bit of your knowledge, I think, goes a long way to drive some traffic to you, whether that be your website or your YouTube channel or whatever.
Absolutely. And any way you can demonstrate your authority, whether it's through like tutorials or how-to videos or things like that, that is just going to lend credibility to you and your business. So kind of like in that same vein, like rather than having an FAQ page on your website or something, like host a Q&A with a customer where the customer's asking you the questions and you're answering in video. If you have a blog, you can promote your new blog post, your latest blog post, share any news or updates really. And these videos don't have to be long, especially if you're on social media. 10-15 seconds is a good length to keep it on social media, because people they're not going to sit there and watch a long video, but they'll catch 10 seconds of what you have to say if you have a quick update or things like that. So just some quick idea starters on things you can start thinking about. Weekly tips are a great one. If you have something, maybe you have Tip Tuesday, where every Tuesday you put out a short video with a quick tip on something relevant to your industry. It's a great way to just keep your name out there and get video integrated. And so now I'm gonna take questions throughout this presentation, but I know we just had kind of a little bit of a conversation, but does anyone have any questions to this point or anything to discuss?
Oh yeah, I had one. You had talked about doing the videos horizontally or vertically. If we're doing it for YouTube, is it horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Okay.
So that 16:9 is like the best to do for YouTube. So that will show up the best.
Thanks.
Absolutely. All right. Now we're going to get a little bit into once you filmed a video, what do you do with it? How do you edit it? Maybe you want to cut out the beginning or cut out the end, or even splice a little bit in the middle. Maybe you want to add text to that video. There's a lot of things you can do and a lot of ways you can do it. There are tons of platforms, video editing platforms out there. I'm going to just go through a couple of easy ones today. But there is, if you have the Adobe Suite, Creative Suite, there's Adobe Premiere Pro. That's highly technical, and if you're not familiar with it, it'll take some time in learning how to do it. There is an app associated with that product, a free app, which is what I'm going to show you how to use today, and that's Adobe Premiere Rush. It's very user-friendly. You can do it right on your phone, so you can, film a video on your phone, edit it right there, and post it, and it can be as simple as that. If you have iPhone or Mac products, iMovie is a great one. There's also a product called Screenflow. If you have a Mac, that's great to record and edit videos. that does come with a fee. I believe it's a one-time fee that you pay. It's like $130 or something like that. And then you just have it to use. And then on PC, I think the comparison is called Camtasia, which again is a paid editing software. So then there's Motion Leap, which that allows you to animate static photos. So it just gives you another way to add some interest to maybe a static photo. I'll show you how to use that a little bit today too. And then there's Canva. Canva allows you to animate images. So if you create a graphic, maybe it's a text heavy graphic or something like that, you want to just add some movement, make it interesting, you can use Canva to do that.
Oh, quick question. Are you using any of these apps to make the video, or are you using your phone regular video, take picture, whatever, and then going to those apps? Or
Yes.
Okay.
So the second. So typically what I do when I do videos is I'll film it on my phone or take the picture on my phone, and then I'll go to these apps to edit that.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna quickly show you with video. I'm gonna show you what I recorded my screen because I want to show you the mobile experience of these apps, just to show you a quick way, you know, how easy it is to use these, and just how to do a few things. So first, we're going to talk about just cutting the video. So if you want to cut a little bit off the end and export it, I'm just going to show you quickly how to do that, and then we'll get into a few more other technical things. So these days I'm filming a lot of my baby, so this is going to feature my little baby.
So is this the same whether you have a Samsung or an Apple?
It should be the same experience.
Okay.
This is on a Samsung, and an iPhone should be the same. So if you navigate, so what I'm doing now is I'm uploading my video that I took from my phone. Upload the video. And I can replay these two. I'll pause a little bit from time to time, but I can replay these two for you if you want me to go back or you want me to show you something else. Because when I'm doing my screen recorder on my phone, it does tend to go a little bit fast. So here's my little guy. I want to, you know, maybe take off that little scream at the end of the video. So all you do is you drag everything that you see that I'm doing here is I'm dragging with my fingers. So if I drag, say this is the spot where I want to, you know, I want to cut everything out after that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb and highlighting this, and then I'm going to drag it over, and that's it.
Can it get any easier? Jeez.
Right. You know, that's what I want to show you is you just
Wow.
drag it. That's it. So then I clicked the export button, you export it, you just created a video.
So where's the original? Is that still there? Or let's say you have a minute video and you're cutting it to 30 seconds.
Mhm.
Are you editing and completely removing the full minute video?
Nope. So it'll still save on your phone. It'll save that original, and then you'll have the new export on your phone.
Okay.
So this will save as a new file on your phone.
And what about the sound? Like because while you cropping just the image of the footage,
Mm-hmm.
how it goes with this sound? I mean,
It
it's
goes
kinda,
with the sound. You could separate those if you wanted to. If you wanted to delete the sound or you wanted to change the sound and move it around, if you click, can you see my mouse hovering over?
yeah, yep.
So if you click this button, it'll separate the audio. Right now you see it's kind of together in
Also
one
on the
screen.
bottom is it's the
So
voice.
this is the audio right here,
Okay.
and this is the video. And so if you click that, it'll kind of separate it for you, and then you can manipulate the audio and the video separately.
So can you cut the audio different than
Mhm.
and then kind of just collapse together, right? And kind of
Yes.
combine in one?
Yes, absolutely. So if you click that button, it'll kind of separate them. So then you can edit whatever you want on the audio. It'll kind of create two separate lines
Okay,
instead
and then
of them being on the same line.
got it.
And
So
then
if
you
you
can
made a
just drag your
comment-
thumb.
So if you made a comment about your son during that whole, let's say 30 seconds that you originally had, oh, isn't he adorable? Now he's learning to say a few things. So when you shorten it, will all that wording still be there, or everything that you went from beyond that line back, will all of that voiceover be gone too?
Well, if you break them out into the two separate things, then you can shorten the video, but you can still keep the audio. And so if you want to maybe edit a different part of the audio and move that voiceover to line up with the video, you can do that.
So you still, as long the audio is 20 seconds, original video, for example, is 30 seconds. You cut off the footage to 20 seconds. You have to do the same things with the voice. If you don't do this manual, just going to cut the same when you cut the footage, right?
Right. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that they're the same length too, because otherwise what would happen is you could keep the audio if it's longer, but then the video would go to a black screen. And what you could do is you could put text on that screen or something, if you wanted to end with a black screen that says like that, Liam 2021 or something like that, so if you end up with audio that's a little bit longer, that's okay. There's
Or your
different things
logo.
you could do with it. Yeah.
And you
Or
can
your
add the
logo.
text in this software, right?
Yes, so that's going to be the next video that I'm going to show you, is how to add a text overlay.
He's so cute.
Thank you. So I can show you next. I can play this one that's with the text overlay. So let me see. Let me go back and just show you. So what I clicked on was this graphics button right here. Then it says add graphic. And you can choose from a lot of different things, right? You can put like these type of graphics over the top. You can overlay a smiley face, an emoji, or something like that. Or you can overlay this text. And so I'm just gonna, for simplicity, just do this text overlay. So I choose that one. And then you can see that it automatically defaults to be, I don't know what the exact length of this is, but you can see that the title is longer than the video. So again, all you have to do, and I'll show you a little bit later, but you can just drag that with your thumb to match up with the video. Or if you want it to just be in the beginning, you can just make it, a few seconds right in the beginning of the video. But that's what I'm doing right now. There you go. So I'm making it the same length as the video. Right there. And so now it takes a little time to load, but you'll see the video will load eventually. Normally the video you'll see on the screen along with your text. But all you have to do is take your thumb and tap on this text and it'll highlight it and you can start typing whatever you want to type. So I'm typing Liam March 2021 in this text. So all you just double click it and you can type anything that you want in those text boxes. And if I wanted to, I could take that with my thumb and I can move it up here, or I can move it over here, or I can move it down here. You can put it anywhere you want
Or it's more visible.
Mm-hmm.
God, I
And
want to have
so-
a baby just so I could play around and do this fun stuff with the baby.
I know. I know.
Look at Kasha, she's like, what?
You can borrow one from her. You don't have to have your own.
But then you can see, since I have the text highlighted, you can change the font. You can change the font size. You can change the font color. You can make this whatever you want it to be.
So are these apps free up to a certain amount of work that you can do, and then you have to pay to get a premium or something? And
So
then you
this
can
one, this
do-
Adobe Premiere Rush, there's a reason I'm showing you this, because it used to be you could only export 3 projects and then you would have to pay, I think it was like $5 a month or something like that. But last year on the mobile app, they removed the pay structure. So you can export as many as you want using this app.
So if I own the Adobe Acrobat, whatever, I can, is that part of that or is it separate?
It's part of that too. So if you already own Adobe, you can use this on there's a desktop version of this as well. So you can
Okay.
use the desktop version that will be included. If you don't have the Adobe, you have to pay for the desktop version. But the mobile version is free.
Okay, thanks.
I think it's, I mean, I pay like $10 for Adobe package. Actually, I don't install it right as we speak. But this, it's $9.99 a month, and that's one includes also that software too.
Okay, so then you'll be able to get the desktop version along with that, which is very similar to this. I'm just showing you the mobile version because it is the free. And it's so easy to edit videos directly. If you film them on your phone, you can edit them right away, and it's all kind of right on your phone. You can do it from anywhere. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to cut, like if you want to cut out a piece in the middle of the video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So say there's like a piece in here that I'm like, I don't want this middle part right here. So what you can do is you go to the area where you want cut. You just go to like the beginning of that area. And if you click this little scissors thing, it'll divide these clips into 2 different clips. So you'll see, I'll click that. So now you can kind of see there's this clip and there's this clip. And now all you have to do is simply drag the part that you don't want, and it'll keep them together still. So if you watch, all I'm going to do is take this one. I'm going to drag it this way because I didn't want that part. And now there it is, like it cut them together and it cut out the part you didn't want. And it's as simple as that. Any questions on this? Then I just have a few quick screenshots here just to show you all of the things, some more of the features of this app. You can change the aspect ratio. So say you filmed it on your phone up and down as a 9:16 and you're like, oh wait, I want it to be horizontal, or I want it to be a square or something like that. You can change that too in this app. And also there's all, like I showed you how to use graphics, but you can also create effects. You can change the color overlay of the video. You can make it go faster. You can play with the audio. So there's a lot of different things that you can do using this app. I'm not going to dive into all of the features today because there's so many, but you can just play around with it. And it's really easy to use.
Can I ask you a quick question? So let's say you recorded with your voice and you were saying something and explaining something. And then when you go back, you're like, oh, that was really stupid. So instead of recording it all over again, can you then mute the sound and keep the video part and then add a separate voice over so that you could re-record whatever you said that was wrong or not quite right? Or
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You can like, so if like I was describing before, how you can separate the video from the audio, you can just press delete and delete the audio out. So then you have the video and then you can do a voiceover narration and add it in later. In fact, that's going to be one of my tips that I go over later on is it's better if you have narration or you want audio voiceover or something like that, it's better if you do record it separately, just because if you're filming a video, there could be background noise. You could be, clicking something or something like there's just so many elements that are out of your control that it's so much easier if you just record your voice separately and the video separately. So then you're paying attention to what you're saying and you're paying attention to the video on their own, not trying to do it all at once. And then you can just combine them together.
I have a question. So when you flip from radiation from horizontal to vertical, is that going to create like a black things on the side, or if you scratch because they're going to be pixely, right? So you have to be careful with that, right?
Right. My recommendation would be to film it in the way that you want it to show up, because what's going to happen is if you change it from here to here, either the video is going to be like this right here and there's all this black spot on either side, or you zoom in and it may not have the best quality. So my recommendation would be to always film it in the either vertically or horizontally the way you want it. The way that it becomes useful is if you want it to be a square or something like that, then, you know, you can make these into squares. Obviously, keep in mind that part of your video will get cut off then if you're changing it into a square.
But then if you're gonna put this on, for example, Instagram, because
Mhm.
Instagram it's square, right? So they'll square work, but the Facebook has different.
Mhm.
They have to kind of know which format you choose for which platform.
So when you're posting on Instagram, Instagram visuals are square, 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. But when you're posting videos, you have the option to expand it. So if you did take a 16:9 video, you can show the whole video on your feed. When you're posting it to Instagram, there's like a little, I think it's in the bottom left-hand corner. There's like a little icon that looks like, it has like the little squares, like the edges of your video. And if
Like a
you click on
framing?
that, it'll expand out and show your entire video. In the same way with vertically too. So say you did film a 16:9 horizontal video and you want to use it on Instagram, you can zoom it out when you're posting it, and people will be able to see the whole video.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And what about LinkedIn?
LinkedIn will show, you know, the sizes I don't have off the top of my head, but it should, if you do 16:9, it'll show the whole video.
Okay.
And the same thing with the vertical too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna show you some examples of this motion leap, because I think it's a really cool feature. If you have static images, but you want to add some interesting visuals or a little bit of movement into your photos. This is great if you have like a picture of a picture of water, like a stream, and you want to make it look like the water's moving. This is one way you can do that. And this is free as well. This is free and very easy to use. So I'll show you just quickly some of the things you can do with this. So I have this beautiful photo, but say I want to add maybe some morning fog to this photo. You can. If you scroll through on the overlays, there's all kinds of overlays you can put on, but then look at what you can do with this. It's just a way to add just a little bit of movement to a photo that's otherwise static. So it's just kind of interesting to play around with. You can add snow, you can add rain. There's a ton of different overlays that you can choose from. There's like confetti flying around here. It's just another element, another visual element. And then let me show you this one.
And that's the name of that app, example?
It's Motion Leap.
Oh,
Oh, it's right here.
no, I mean the app,
Yep, it's called Motion Leap.
So
but
are these-
that's the icon with the animal.
Yep.
so I know you mentioned it's free, but I downloaded this one a long time ago because of course I like toys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually wasn't free. So is there any way?
So there are features that are free, and then there are features that are paid. So it's like if you have Canva, there's the free version and the paid version. So if you there's a lot of things, this like fog that I'm showing you and this other things that I'm showing you are free. But there are certain features that are going to be in the pro version that you have to pay for, which I think it's like $6 a month or something like that. But
I finally paid that for Canva. It was worth it.
yeah.
I think this one it's like $6 a month. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said. A one-time purchase, $60 because that's I started playing with that and kind of like, yeah, I'm not paying.
Yeah, and you'll see over time if you find yourself using it a lot or wanting those premium features, $6 a month might be worth it.
Yeah, they entice you with it because you
Right.
don't do more. Yeah.
Right. So now I'm just going to show you real quick. This is just some different things you can do with it. So here I can, you can make it look like the dirt's flying out or whatever. Or you can just add some movement where if you go, I went really fast. If you go to animate and you click path, all you need to do, and I'm doing this with my thumb, just choosing the path, just drag a path and the whole image kind of moves in that direction. So this is where it gets interesting. If you have water or something like that, you can make it look like the water's running And there's ways that you can, like, you know, with this anchor button, you can anchor these pieces so that these stay the same. Or you can click on the freeze version. And all I'm doing is, you know, painting around with my finger what I want to be frozen. And the way that looks is you can see all of this stays the same and just this part moves.
So that's how you can make yourself skinnier by just, you didn't show that part yet.
Yeah, just like weaving your body around. Yeah.
You can
mean,
stretch
we don't wanna
yourself a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to show jiggle and wiggle?
So that's just really quickly.
Oh, you know those two guys too, Jiggle and Wiggle?
Yeah. After COVID, I know
Good
jiggle and
friends, yeah.
Yeah. So I know we're kind of doing questions along the way, but does anyone have anything that you'd like me to go back to, or any other questions that haven't been answered to this point?
So how do you
Alyssa-
send a video? Like regular, like an email or a photo or a
That's
whatever?
the problem. Sometimes they're too big and you can't email them.
Yeah, so once this is done, you can export them to your phone, and then that's where it does depend on the length of the video, right? You can either post them directly to social media from your phone, or you can email them to yourselves, which oftentimes it might be too big. Then if you're using like Google Drive or something like that, that might be a good place to upload it to the Google Drive. Or if you have a cloud app where you save a lot of your files, you can upload it then to the cloud on your phone, and then you can access it from your desktop. So there are a couple different ways you can address that. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Alyssa, can you do like, say I'm doing a lot of videos and at the end of all of them, I want to put, you know, whatever, a little promo for my business, right? Call me, I do this stuff or whatever.
Your
And-
contact info. or-
Yeah, can you like record that one like little snippet video and then easily just, when you're editing another one, just add it to the end?
Yes. So
Good question.
yes, that's a great question. So do you see where this like text right, when I added the text, it like makes it this length, the length of the video. You could drag that out. So then what will happen is it'll be a black screen, and you can put your text or whatever graphics you want to put on there. But then it will be on like a black screen. So your video could end, and then you'll have that piece of it. Does that make sense?
So the
Yeah.
text will be for whole time, and then when video ends, the text
Yeah.
continues. So the text,
You know what I could do is I can record a separate video like this of myself doing that, so that to like show you how you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then can you choose the background or will it be black? Can you put your logo on it? Like I have my logo here. Can you put that there? Or
Yeah, you can put your logo on it. I think the background is typically black. You can probably change the colors, but it's probably going to be just like the same color. So you
So
can do
you
like
could-
black, white, blue, red, you know, whatever you want to do.
So you could take like a JPEG or whatever and
Yep.
and add it into there?
Exactly.
Alyssa, could you take a video that you've created with Rush and use that as your trailer for another project? Because I've seen some of the businesses, a lot of times on YouTube, people who do the tutorial things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they have a business. So at the end of it, it's the person in a completely different video setting or whatever saying, hey, if you want to know more about this, you know, I'm a great lumberjack, you know, go here and I'll do firewood for you or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's the
So,
same little thing every time. And I'm guessing that this Rush would let you do that.
yep, you could add like another video. So I think if you press this little plus, you could add like another video to the end of this video.
Okay.
So I can record that too and send it over to you on how to
yeah,
do
so
that.
like if you have a consistent ending, right, that you want to put
Mhm.
onto everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I played around just a little bit with this app. And the one thing it took me a few minutes to realize was at the bottom where it has all the little tools or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that thing scrolls left to right. And there's more
Yes.
tools. And I was like in their tutorial and it told me to click on something. I was like, it's not there. It's not there. And I finally figured out I had to scroll the toolbar.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys start, I have some homework for you at the end of this, which is optional, obviously. But if you're doing these things and you have questions or you run into roadblocks, you can just let me know. Just like shoot me an email or a text or something, and I'll be happy to just show you quickly how to do that.
Do we have your email address?
I'll give it to you at the end.
Perfect.
Yep.
You're for hire too, right?
I am, yes.
That might just be
Absolutely. If you need
easier.
if you need more intensive help with developing a video strategy, putting the videos together, editing the videos, posting the videos, that's what I do in my day-to-day. So I'm happy to help anyone with that.
Choosing the background is a big thing.
Yeah.
I put my link into my video that was part of the expo in Wakanda, so you can take a look at it, but
Okay.
I couldn't get to the library to use the green screen.
Yeah. So now I'm going to move on from the actual editing. So once you have an edited video, first I'm going to talk about going live if you want to go live, but then I'm going to talk a little bit about, especially on Instagram, because Instagram can get very complicated. There's stories, there's reels, there's the feed, there's a lot of different places you could post to. So I'm just going to quickly break it down for you in a quick, easy to understand format. So first I'm just going to talk about, maybe some of you have gone live, maybe you haven't, but just quickly how to go live on Facebook, on the app and the desktop version. There's, when you go to your home feed, that it's just where typically you would do your post. It just says live video. You click that and you're live. On Instagram, if you click the plus of your profile, you can post, either do a post, a story, reels, or live. So you would choose that live function and then start to go live. And going live is great if you want to just hop on and update your followers with something. Those lives will still live. Like if you did a live on Instagram, it'll stay in your Instagram stories for 24 hours, so people can still view your live if maybe they don't get to it until later that evening, or they weren't on Instagram when you went live. They can still view that later on.
Alyssa, quick question on that. When you use some of the different social media tools and do it live, if you want to use that video for another purpose, can you download it and like put it on your website or do something else with it?
That's a good question. I don't know if Facebook directly you can save it, but if you use, so there are things like StreamYard is one, for example, where you can go live through StreamYard and then you can save the video from that platform and post it later or post it somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, I know I've had clients who have done a live video and it went so well, they're like, oh, I want to use this somewhere else. And I don't know if they wait too long or it's just not available, but we never quite figured out how to get the video out of that social media platform to use it somewhere else where it could live longer. Yeah.
So now Instagram, when you're posting videos, you can post videos to your feed, to Instagram TV, IGTV, to stories, or to reels. So there are 4 different places you can post videos. It's kind of confusing what's what each one is meant for. So your feed, you can have videos up to 1 minute. You can add a caption. It's just a post, right? It's a post. It shows up in your feed. It's there permanently. So it's always going to show up if people visit your profile. It will always be there. IGTV is for long form videos. So it's 1 to 15 minutes. You can publish this to your feed if you want to. So all you do is, this screenshot right here is an example of a post to IGTV. You can choose long video. And then if you choose short video, up to 1 minute of your video will show up in your profile and on your feed. And if you click long video and then you click continue, you'll have the option to, if you want to put it on your profile, it'll show up to 1 minute and then it'll allow viewers to click watch more and it'll send them over to IGTV to watch the rest of the video. Instagram stories are 15 seconds only. You cannot put a caption on it. The stories are only available for 24 hours and you can only put 10 hashtags on stories. 10 hashtags might be a little overdoing it. It might look like spam on your video because they show up as hashtags. So if you have 10 of them, that it just seems like a lot. And then Instagram Reels, Instagram just came out with Reels in competition with TikTok. Reels can be 30 seconds. They're only available for 24 hours, but you can include a caption and you can include up to 30 hashtags. And then you can manipulate these if you want to include music or different things like that, kind of like TikTok, basically. That's what Reels is for. And on all of these, when you post them, like when you post something to your feed or to your stories, you have the option to share that to Facebook as well. So this is like a story that I was posting, and it says, you know, you can share this story to your Facebook stories. You can do it just one time, or you can allow Instagram to do it every time you post. I typically don't do that because sometimes you're posting things that maybe you just want on Instagram and you don't want everything to always go to Facebook. So it's up to you how you want to handle that. But I'm just going to go into now, I don't know how we are on time. We're getting close to 1 o'clock. So I'm just going to go over a few quick tips if you're getting started, things to keep in mind when you're creating videos. One thing is to ensure your phone has enough storage. You don't want to edit a video and then be like, oh, I can't export it, or having to delete a bunch of things, something like that. When you're filming the video, enable your phone's do not disturb setting so that if you're filming, there aren't notifications constantly coming through or interrupting and things like that. We talked about this. Horizontal video creates the best viewing experience. Although vertical is growing in popularity, horizontal is still the standard. Make sure that you're not zooming on your camera, that if you need something zoomed in, either move your camera closer or move the subject of the video closer to your camera. Because that will just, otherwise it might look pixelated, especially once you start editing it and playing around with it. You might compromise the quality of the video. Always pay attention to your environment when you're filming. Look at your background. Think about the noise that's there. Something, just take a minute and take it in, because sometimes some noise might be going on. Maybe there's some construction outside or something that you might not notice. And then later on, you're like, oh, geez, all I'm hearing is this construction in the background. And there are solutions to that. Like we talked about, you can take the audio out. You can refilm that voiceover or things like that. But you just always want to be cognizant of what's going on around you. Lighting is important. Right now I have a light, I'm lit here. I have like a circular light in front of me that I use for, you can see, like it can get super, super bright, which is kind of unflattering, creates shadows, but you can like play around with it, look at your lighting. One thing I learned from Kasha recently is if you don't have good lighting, look towards a window, because the natural light of the window will naturally light your face and be flattering. Because the last thing you want is for your face to look shadowy or something like that when you're working so hard on creating content for these videos. Be personable. We talked about showcasing your personality. You are your own business. You're the face of your business. You're the only one. So don't be afraid to have some fun with it. Sometimes people think they need to have everything all buttoned up when they're doing videos, and that's not the case. Actually, I recently read a study that said people prefer watching videos that aren't professionally edited, it's just so much more authentic and relatable. So don't be afraid, if you make a mistake or stumble over some words, that's great. I mean, it showcases that you're a human, you're a person, and people like that. Also encourage engagement if you're posting on social. I work primarily in the social media space, so a lot of the things I was talking about today relate specifically to social. But say if you're doing a live, say, hey, let me know, yes or no, ask some questions, ask some yes, no questions along the way, get people to comment, get people involved, because that's just going to get them more comfortable with you, more familiar with what you do, and they'll remember it. And then always think about your branding. Before you post, especially if you're posting in your feed or something like that, does it match with the rest of my branding? Does it look the same? Does it feel the same? Or are people going to be confused when I put this video out because it doesn't really match anything that I've done before? So always think about your brand as a whole. And then I just have a few quick do's and don'ts as you're starting video. Always understand your audience. If you want your audience to take an action of some sort, make sure that call to action is clear. If you want them to visit your website or do something, just make sure to make that clear. Always try and tell a compelling story. Make it interesting. Make it something that your customers will value. Like we were just talking about, showing personality. Simplify your messaging. Educate. I always talk about, don't always go for the hard sell right away on videos. Videos are a lot about building awareness, and more of a branding, top of the funnel type of marketing. And so, the key in videos is to educate, showcase your authority in what you do, and be fun. You don't always have to say, here's my product, buy it now. People won't be interested in that. And then we talked about to record narration separately. Try not to make videos too long, especially for social or email. Your website and YouTube videos can be as long as you want them to be. But if you're thinking of social or email, over 3 minutes, and I would say maybe even shorter than that. Just try and keep it short. And again, with the, don't always go for the hard sell. Don't always brag about your features. Don't use salesy or monotone language. You don't want your videos to be too boring. Try to avoid getting too technical. People sometimes get confused if you're putting out videos that are really technical. Don't use only a static shot if you're doing videos. And then again, pay attention to the background noise and music. Homework time. So all of you, all I want you to do is just try and film a video and try and edit it. Just see how easy it can be based on what I showed you today. The only way you learn is by doing it. So I just want everyone to just make one video, film your office, film your room or something, and then try and edit it. And let me know how it went. If you run into roadblocks or anything, let me know. Here's my contact information. You can all write that down, and you can reach out to me anytime with a quick question or anything that you need. I'm happy to help. Does anyone have any questions that we haven't answered yet?
Yeah, how do you make me sound better on video?
Well, you can record your audio separately. That's one thing you can do, is just keep practicing. That's my main message too, is the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be, the more natural you'll sound. It just all comes with practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, I know my wife does videos for her business and some of her friends for theirs as well. They use like a lapel mic or something, so that it's a microphone that's closer to your mouth, because your phone might be some distance away from you filming what you're doing.
Yep, that's a great tip too.
It's my AirPod. Those usually work.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. I have equipment to do videos, and I think some point I started work and I want to do videos, and I kind of got busy. But I think now I have kind of inspiration. Get back on this course and learn more. So thank you.
Hey, we can take more questions, but I want to do one announcement before we start losing people. Our next meeting for the solopreneurs is April 22nd at noon. And that is, we have an outside speaker, Victoria Cook. She's a local marketing coach. She does public speaking. She's an author. She's written books. There were multiple chamber members who recommended her. I was looking for a business coach or marketing coach to address one of the topics that was recommended for this group, which is she's going to be speaking on post-pandemic marketing strategies for greater profitability. So the conversation been internally within this group was, hey, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel from this pandemic. Are there things we should be doing in our business now to be ready for that when our business opens up and things are going better, and kind of talk to that topic. So that's what she's going to be prepared to do on April 22nd. So should be a good and interesting meeting.
Great job, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Really, this was super.
Good, I'm glad.
Now we're all going to be playing around instead of working.
If you want me to send videos of my baby, I'm more than happy to.
Well, I think if we're going to do it, we might as well make something that we're going to use, right? So maybe
Yeah.
we'll see if we can send it to you first.
Mhm.
Is it something you can send as a message on Facebook, or is it better to send in an email? I guess, how long can you send? Like 30, 45 seconds is about?
Probably. I think if you send through, it'll probably send through Facebook easier than it will through email or message. So I would say you could just send me a Facebook message, or I mean, you can contact me anyway, any way you can find me.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome job.
Great
Yeah,
job.
thank you,
Yeah,
Alyssa.
it was great. I learned a lot.
All right, great.
And everybody's questions were perfect. I didn't even have to come up with some.
No, I think it's very interesting. Yeah, there's so much. And I think, sometimes I don't like to watch long ones either. So I figure if I take that stand when I make mine and keep it at like 30 seconds,
Mhm.
that's about all, because sometimes after a while it's like, oh, I can't, you don't have the time, like you don't have time, right? Sad, but
Right. And people don't have time either. They're scrolling through and they're not going to stop and watch a couple of minutes. You
Right.
know, you want to keep it as short as possible.
I've heard people will actually not even click a video if they see that it says, oh, it's 11 minutes long. They'll just
Mhm.
go to the next one.
I
Right.
found it annoying that on Instagram, there is every day, there's this one girl, she starts like, hi everyone, it's me again. And it's like every day is, hi everyone. It's after like 5 days, I'm like, oh, it's hard. It's almost like a repetition of same. It's kind of make me to the point, then I don't watch anymore. So it's almost, I think you have to be creative a little bit about change things. Maybe just, it's like, hey everyone, maybe say good morning for change. I don't know.
Right.
A little
Yeah.
bit draw different, spin different, something different, because it's like seems like the same video, even if it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Mike.
point.
I think a good follow-up for this, Alyssa, would be something I need. Again, I'm always thinking of what I need.
Yeah.
Is a YouTube channel and how to, have your own brand channel for your business. And that's a little bit different than just having a YouTube account, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of how to set
Yeah,
that
we
up
could
and
have a
make the
whole
best
discussion
use
on
of it.
YouTube strategy. And then when you're posting your YouTube videos, you can use tags. How you title that video can affect your search success. And so there could be like a whole segment on just posting to YouTube.
Yeah, I know some
Yeah.
business owners who do a
That
lot
sounds
of
good.
the how-to videos,
Mhm.
and they put those on their YouTube channel, right? And then people just learn, they follow you, they subscribe to your channel to see what you're coming out with every couple of weeks. And
Right. And if
you know.
YouTube is a priority for your business, you can upload all your videos to YouTube and then share that YouTube link to places like Facebook or LinkedIn, so that when people click on it, they're being taken to your YouTube channel and they can subscribe that way. So if you want to grow your subscriber list or something on YouTube, that is one way to do it. Instead of posting the videos to Facebook and to LinkedIn, post the link to YouTube so that everyone's then going to your YouTube channel.
is it easy to sign up for a YouTube
Yes.
account? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Too
have a
much to
Gmail account,
manage.
if you have a Gmail account, that login works for YouTube as well. You have a YouTube account if you have Gmail.
Gmail equals YouTube.
Yeah, Google bought YouTube a few years back, so it's all the same.
But that's just another thing to manage. So that's when you need somebody like Alyssa that can handle all that, right?
If
And
you
I
need
did a
help,
Hootsuite
Mhm.
and I don't know how to use it. So I've had it for over a year and it's never used it. I'm like, okay, too much.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any topics people would like to hear about in future meetings? And yes, I'm going to ask that in every one of our meetings. I'm going to ask for ideas for future meetings.
I think something I would kind of like to ask, and I know it's something that I've kind of thought over the years, if anybody's interested in like sharing a space, sometimes you see office space kind of like a co-opted, right? And those are spaces that you can rent, but I don't necessarily want to pay $500 a month. So if I know that there's other businesses that would like to meet occasionally with their clients in a space that's located, somewhere convenient. And maybe there's 2 or 3 of us in that space, and maybe one day we're all there for an hour at the same time, and other days there's nobody there, or one day John's there and one day I'm there or something. So I don't know if somebody would be interested in doing something like that, because there are some empty spaces. So I would think there might be somebody interested in, you know, having somebody in their space as opposed to keeping it vacant. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in something like that. I know we can always use the office space, the boardroom at the chamber when it's available for meetings and such with clients, but it's just kind of nice to have to say, you know, where you can have your mail go to, or you can have something as opposed to your home, because I did have a client one time come to my home. So I changed my Google and I don't have the home address anymore, but some of my marketing materials do have my home address, and I don't necessarily want them coming to my home. So if anybody's interested in something like that, if we can get a space and share it, you know.
Do you know about the work? Do you know about the Workomni site that's part of the Office
Yeah, they're kind of
Depot?
pricey. And
Yeah.
it's kind of loud in there, and it, you know, I'd rather have like an office space, you know, and there's maybe 2 or 3 desks, and one would be, you know, we either share 2 desks, or, you know, say, okay, I'm going to be there on Thursdays, every Thursday from like 9 to 1, or, you know, just so that we have, I don't know, just kind of always looking at doing something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude, but I gotta run. Nice.
Yeah.
Guys,
Good to
everyone.
see you, Cassia.
Guys, bye-bye.
Kent,
I signed up for that Workomni.
Beth Slaughter et al. From LZ95, the summer intern program. That I just signed up for that yesterday. They have a internship program for 3 months, June, July, August. You can get a high school, generally, I think a senior, to do an intern with you for a few months. So you pay a little something, and then you mentor and/or can utilize them to kind of, you know, do some work for you or whatever. But hopefully, you know, more so to help them. But you can get a little something out of that. And I think she'd appreciate coming on and getting that word out to a number of people at once, if possible.
Yeah, we're doing a lunch and learn in August with her on August 20th on Tuesday. So, you know, I really think, you know, thanks for mentioning that, John. You know, it's not what you think. It's a lot easier, I think, especially when folks work out of their home. These interns can't come to your home. So it's not like you're worried about having to, you know, do that. It's 60 hours for minimum. There's even mini interns that are only like 30 hours. So it's not a huge amount to bite off, but it's a huge experience for the student. I know that I actually called Ginny last night, John, and you guys, she had an intern, right?
Yeah, Ginny and Ben used one last summer. And she actually stayed on afterwards and does a little part-time stuff. And they're getting another one this year. And then I just put in to get one as well. So.
Oh, cool. I mean, I'm thinking about maybe I could have the intern do this video for me, you know?
So that's what I put on.
High school students are good at that.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's so natural for them, but that's kind of what, you know, one of the things I put down is to help create some marketing type stuff, you know, because they're way more creative than I'll ever be, except in accounting terms.
So, yeah, so we're doing that on April 20th. Beth has a PowerPoint from the school. I did also email Claire yesterday because I didn't know if there was other high schools I need to talk to, or at least have contact information that are in our, you know, the chambers. I don't know about Stevenson. I'm not from here, so I'm like a little clueless. So we may, I plan to always give the information for the College of Lake County interns. They have 2 people there that do, you know, higher level, maybe like an accounting type person. High schools, you know, it might be different areas that would be focused on. So
Yeah, I know CLC has a program and that's even one where they're probably closer. There's potentially, somebody for hire if they, it's almost kind of like a work program to see if they, how good they are. If they're ready to come in, you could get a person out of that.
right, and a lot of students, they just either they're not ready to go to college or they're not interested, and getting them right out of high school is the time. This is the time for those kinds of office clerical jobs or delivery, all different kinds of things. So thank you for bringing that up.
Have you considered Mundelein High School District? Because like, I know, well, it's not Lake Zurich, but like the Hawthorne Woods Country Club has 80% of our homes are in the Mundelein School District and only 20% are in Lake Zurich.
Well, that's what I asked Claire in my email. So I know she's still on her trip, but I didn't know. So yeah, so maybe is it all the towns that are further south that are in Mundelein? Hawthorne,
This is just, I only know
about
about
Palatine.
Well,
Or,
it's even like Killdeer or just kind of even some that are considered in like Zurich, Long Grove, they go to Stevenson too.
right,
I
So
had a feeling about Stevenson,
Yeah,
but
that's a big one.
Carmel.
Or Carmel, a private school. Yeah, Carmel.
Or
I
St.
figured
Anne.
there was some Catholic schools, yeah. So
think they
Carmel
all-
and maybe
St.
Mundelein. I'm not sure about Mundelein because they've got their own chamber. So I'm thinking
Sure.
we should do the towns that are within the chamber
Okay.
window. But yeah, thanks for help on that because I'm actually kind of coordinating that for the Beth talking. I'm the coordinator for that lunch and learn, and
Good.
Okay.
I didn't realize all the stuff I didn't know until oh dear. Thank you.
Kind of the way it goes, right? You don't know what you don't know until you know it. So
That's why I've got you guys. Yeah.
that's why I got you guys. Thanks, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Thank you. This
everyone.
was
We should wrap
this was
up.
really
Thank you.
special. Yeah, it was a great job.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.